In this video, I will explain labeling requirements under the GPSR, and I will also show you how you can create a label file according to the requirements of the GPSR. So the GPSR, at least in theory, covers all products sold in the EU, with some exceptions. But I will just name this any product, just to demonstrate that the GPSR is not specific to a certain product category or anything like that. But we begin by creating a requirements list. I will select the general products module. And to keep it simple, I will not set any other parameters. Okay, done. So as expected, we find the GPSR on top. And as we are now nearing the end of 2024, many companies are trying to understand if the labeling requirements under GPSR apply to their products, and if that is the case, what do they need to include in the updated labeling files. Let's begin with the basics. So according to the labeling provisions under Article 9 of the GPSR, you need to specify the type, batch or serial number or other element enabling the identification of the product. Product name, SKU, model number, batch number. It's for traceability. Clear identification. And the difference between, say, a type and a batch would be that a type, let's say, is a model number, or SKU, it will be static. Let's say that for this phone, there's a static model number. Apple has a static model number somewhere. But they also have a batch number, so that if the battery of this phone would explode, then they can trace the specific production run to a certain date, a certain facility, in case there was a manufacturing error at that time and place. That's the difference between a type and a batch number. Manufacturer name, registered trade name or registered trademark, postal and electronic address. So these have to be included. Let's get to work on a label file. Maybe I can show you an example. So we start with the type and batch and serial number. So we call my product something. Let's call it my product 2025. I think that's too strange. Let's imagine that we sell a baby stroller. Actually, a baby carrier. I'd rather sell a baby carrier. Baby carrier ABC 2025. That's my product name. Model ABC 2025. Batch. That could maybe be my model number. I could possibly combine that with, say, the month and the year I placed the order. So let's say I do so now in September of 2024. It could look something like this. Okay. So as far as I'm aware, there's no fixed format for the batch number in the GPSR. Manufacturer's name, registered trade name or registered trademark. So what will I call myself? Frederick's Baby Carrier Wholesale Limited. Right. Postal and electronic address. Baby Carriers Street 10, Unit 5, Floor 7. Berlin, Germany. I'm obviously just making something up here. Postal and electronic address. Yes, we need an electronic address as well, so that could be contact at babycarrier.com. Okay, I think we got the basics. Got the basics under Article 9. Now we have placement. It's stated that the information should be placed on the product, or when that is not possible, on the packaging or in a document that accompanies the product, maybe in the user instructions. The issue is that we don't really have a clear source or definition stating when it is not considered to be possible. So for that reason, there's sort of a gap, and it may be up to you to decide that. The benefit of having something on the product, like having batch numbers and other traceability information on the product, is that, well, the product can be traced that way. That could reduce the need for a larger recall if something like that would happen. Packaging tends to be discarded. Okay, now in point 2, labeling regarding age suitability for children, and that is not expressed as a direct labeling requirement, but in Article 6 of the GPSR, what they do state is that the age suitability labeling is part of the assessment when you determine if a product is safe. It is a bit vague, but it is mentioned in the context of age suitability labeling is part of what makes a product safe under the GPSR. Oh, sorry. So it is there, but we don't have more than that to go on. And keep in mind that you got to be careful of arbitrarily setting age spans, or like, for example, say that a product that would otherwise be suited for children, such as, I don't know, a baby carrier or something like that, is suited for a different age group. So let's say that you're selling pacifiers of baby bottles. You can't go around the responsibility or complying with the provisions of the GPSR as a whole by saying that my baby bottle is only for, say, 15 years plus. It doesn't work like that. So you gotta be careful with this. And point 3, this is also a bit vague: warnings and instructions for its safe use and disposal. And any other indication or information regarding the product. So this is also mentioned in Article 6, but in practice, warnings and instructions can be necessary, and they do not provide specific formats, the exact wordings that should be used. At best, you may be able to find some warning, like warning texts inside harmonized standards or other European standards you can find on Senelec. So that's one way to identify warnings and instructions for safe use and disposal. But I don't think you can find like pre-written warnings and instructions for every single product. So what this means is that you will need to carry out some sort of risk assessment. Now, again, as I mentioned, in the context of age suitability, warnings and instructions are not a substitute for ensuring that the product is safe. It's a complement to make or to enhance the safety of a product, but it's not a substitute for complying with the provisions that requires that all products are fundamentally safe before they can be sold in the EU. But anyway, just to recap, you will find the traceability information in Article 9. It's quite straightforward. Age suitability, when appropriate and done in a way that it's not misleading or trying to, let's say, go around the responsibility to ensure that products are safe. And then we also have warnings and instructions. And as I mentioned, you may be able to find some of these in harmonized standards or other European standards. But I don't think they have warnings, pre-written warnings and instructions for every single product that exists on the market.